Hello, everyone. Shalom, shalom, and Madayaw. I thought I'd do a little Bible study and connect what's happening in the world around us. All right, first of all, oh my gosh, in just 2 weeks, our gas prices doubled. I mean, all right, so I gassed up, when was this? That that week of the war. I gassed up at like 55, 54 to a liter, and this morning it's 107 to 117 per liter. So all my outings have to be really scheduled, but it's so hard to, tell people like, I'm sorry, I cannot help you today, or I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to attend your event because gas prices are just too high. I know it's hard, so I'm praying. Lord, if you really want me to go there, if you really want me to help people, if you really want me to do these things, I pray that you will show me the way. Somehow, magically, gas prices will dip something, or maybe Lord would say, go there. Something, and I will go. Okay? So, in another world news, you guys seen the Epstein files? We've been talking about that from the mountains up to the Bible study of my mother this evening. We were all talking about the Epstein files, how this war is trying to cover up the Epstein files. I don't know if it does or it doesn't. What I'm saying is, what I'm about to tell you might have some bearings in this, because whatever part of this secret ring that Epstein has, it's very well connected to royalty, billionaires, tech giants, bankers, and the who's who of government. And before you say no, because my mother's defending some people and saying that, oh no, 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 they just happen to be friends with them and just happen to be in that island and just happen to, But anybody who's still friends with that guy after 2008, I believe they're really his true friends, because he's been convicted in 2008 and you're still friends with him, really? Anyways, here's the thing. When some people say he sold his soul to the devil, yes, yes, but in their weird, wicked minds, it's not the devil they sold their souls to. I'm gonna tell you who, though, but just so you know, devil is not a name, it is what they do, because that is a translation from diabolos. Okay, so the Hebrew word for that term is shaitan, which is the adversary. And the shaitan is not just one person, unless they're talking about shaitan, that adversary. But if it's not, he has minions. Because remember, at the fall of Mount Hermon, there were 200 watcher fallen angels. And it's not really listed what kind of rank they had. Were they seraphims? Were they cherubims? Or just... we don't know what kind of angel they are, because angel is not a thing. Angel is an occupation. Angel actually just means messenger. So these guys were the watchers who were set to take over, or set to watch over humans, and they made a transgression instead. In fact, they keep transgressing. They had their children, their offspring, the Nephilim, and the Nephilim wreaked so much havoc in this world and is still doing that. Because one thing about the Nephilim is, when you them, they have nowhere to go. If you killed their physical body, their spiritual side has nowhere to go, because they're not allowed into the kingdom. They're abomination. God did not create them. In fact, God prohibited their creation. And so they become the demons that we call them. And those demons, the Hebrew term for that is Temu Nephal, which means dead Nephilim. Now, some people in the olden days attribute them to our mythological creature or mythological characters, mythological heroes, because remember, it says there in Genesis 6, they became the heroes of old, the heroes, the men of renown. Okay, so who are men of renown? Hercules, the Greek pantheon. They made things up because even if there were only 200 Watcher fallen angels, they had a lot of offspring. They populated this earth. They had so much of those around, and they can actually communicate to humans. And yes, they can influence them, but they're disembodied. So we think they are gods, goddesses, spirits, whatever. So you guys have to also be wary when you're doing New Age practices, because God doesn't like that, because you're calling them. Sometimes there are some yogas that we do, yoga poses, that are kundalini, blah, 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 praise, worship, sun, whatever. Are you really going to do that? Honestly? Because yogis right now are telling you that the poses you do are very spiritual, and that's their term, it is very spiritual, and it just so happens to have physical benefits to your health. So, I know I've done yoga before. I've never thought of it that way until there were not just pastors, ex-yogis who will tell you that, oh, it's very spiritual, very, very, very spiritual. But who you're glorifying is not the guy up there. It's not your father above. It's not the king of the universe. You'll know when you talk to New Age people, they don't address God. They will say, the universe, the great architect of all, the great engineer, some other term. Why can't you say the Father, our Father? Why can't you say Papa God? Why can't you say Abba? Why can't you just say Yahuwah, Yeshua, God, Elohim, Adonai? He has so many names, and you cannot say any of them. You have to say the mysterious universe. You have to say the mysterious architect. Yes, he's the architect of all, but he already told you how to address him. Anyway, so if we go to 1 Kings, right around verse 10, chapter 10, verses 14. Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in a year was 666 talents of gold. So that's the yearly annual tribute to him every year. So that's billions of dollars in today's currency, and that was a tribute to him. God would have given him everything and anything that he would like, because God already told him and appeared to Solomon twice and already told him, just follow my commandments, do as your father David has done, follow my commandments, keep my commandments, and I'll give you anything you want. Wisdom and all that. And what did you do? You squandered that wisdom, Solomon. Oh my gosh, what'd you do? So after this verse, so I know this alludes to the number of the beast, 666, because it would mean that the Antichrist, whoever he is, will be a very, very wealthy person, a person of power, a leader or something. He is a person of power and supposed a person of wisdom. And now after all this, because he's got how many 100 wives and how many 100 concubines, I think it's 700 wives and 300 concubines. And then what did you do? He made the high places, he established Asherah poles, he made a temple to Chemosh, the abomination of the Moabites, the abomination of the whoever, all of them, the Ammonites, the Edomites, the Sidonians, the Hittites, all of them. How does this relate to today? You know that certain Epstein has like a temple in his island, right? Do you know who it's for? Some are saying it's for Chemosh, and the reason why he's touching little girls is he's ritually offering them to Chemosh for fame, for power, because he doesn't need the money. It's really just the fame that he wants, maybe the rush of it. But anyways, that's today's reflection. Madayaw, and I grant you shalom.